Welcome to Evolve Your Life, the podcast where values meet vision, ambition meets alignment, and family fuels your purpose. I'm Dr. Stefanie Ascher, chiropractor, entrepreneur, homeschool mom, cancer warrior, and your go-to girl for building harmony in every area of life. Around here, women step into living fully and authentically, and we believe you are capable and worthy of it all. So grab your coffee, get cozy, and let's evolve your life together. Hey love, welcome back to Evolve Your Life. This weekend, I spent a few days at the Wealthy Practitioner headquarters in New Jersey. And while we covered systems, marketing, leadership, and growth, what I came home with wasn't a new tactic, it was a renewed perspective. So I wanted to share a few lessons today that hit me hard over this weekend that I have been really reflecting on. One big thing is when you are in rooms like that, it's not just receiving the coaching as learning as to how to apply it to your business. It's looking at the company and the structure and their operations and seeing what you can pull from that, how they're growing, how they're scaling, what they're working on, and applying that to your business. So something that I was really thinking about was how the vision has to be bigger than today. One thing that was so impressive was seeing a company operating at a high level, even with a small, lean, mean team. What stood out to me was the systems, the intentionality, the attention to detail, and the infrastructure behind the success. They not only knew where they're at today, and where they're going next, but also what the big picture mission and vision is. And that is so important because success does not happen accidentally. What we admire on the outside is usually supported by systems and infrastructure that nobody actually sees. I really have brought that home with me because my vision casting currently tends to be more incremental. It tends to be from this to this, growing from 2 doctors to 3 doctors, the new building and filling the walls and the spaces. But really, I need to think about 5 years from now, 10 years from now, as a business owner, what am I creating for my legacy? Not just when I'm part of it, but even in the next chapter, when I'm partly removed or when I'm fully removed, when I'm old and just the building owner and not the practitioner. But what does the big picture vision look like? Not just who we want to serve right now and what our next milestone of growth is, but what is the big picture vision? Because the vision for the company also has to be big enough that all of your team's visions are able to fit inside of it. And that's something really important to me with the team that I'm growing and leading. And that ties into the next lesson that I brought home was that leadership isn't about being needed. And we are actually doing a whole team training today on leadership. It is important to see an organization where multiple leaders operate at a high level. No single person is carrying everything. And one of the biggest leadership shifts that I've experienced is realizing that my job is not to be needed by everyone. My job is to develop people so they don't need me for everything. This is true for Dr. Olivia, for Maddie, for Steve, for Alana. It's creating a leadership culture where things don't depend on me. And I'm cultivating a workplace where people can be confident, strong, independent thinkers, where they see a problem and they identify solutions. They take initiative. Because if everything depends on me, I've built dependence, not leadership. The third lesson is that getting in the room still matters. And this is huge. Being in rooms like that, it's not just what you're learning from the coaching and during the sessions. It's the conversations over coffee. It's the lunch breaks. It's those small side conversations during the bathroom breaks. You can learn information online, but transformation often happens in proximity. And it was such a cool thing for this event specifically to be more of a round table. Steph was absolutely leading the charge and doing a lot of coaching and teaching and giving such great hot seat coaching, but it was also a space that allowed the opportunity for all of us to ask questions and provide insight and feedback. And I love those kind of spaces because it allows you to ask your questions and get answers. And it also allows you to grow in your confidence of sharing your own experiences so that they can help other people through the perspectives that you have gained. And this applies to not only business, but health, faith, relationships. When you are part of groups of people that have a similar mindset, are like-minded, and have similar goals to you, It's important to pour into those groups and cultivate strong relationships that call you higher and people that you can grow and learn alongside with. Lesson number 4 is excellence is in the small things. And this was true of the hospitality. So the first evening that we were there, we had a dinner at Steph's house. It was a beautiful backyard beach chic dinner. And when I walked in, I was absolutely amazed. There were a lot of people at this dinner, but it was one long rectangle table with a beautiful tablescape with flowers and beautiful cutlery and place settings. And the seat tags were your swag bags or your goodie bags. There was a bar with a cocktail and mocktail menu that were created with the names based off of little slogans and tag phrases from TWP. There was a raw bar. There was a chef who came out and explained every part of the meal. The coaches made sure to greet everyone as they arrived. And it was so beautiful and such an elevated dinner, and the details really mattered. And then also the company, to be surrounded by people who are so happy to be sharing space together, to be enjoying a meal together, who just get to chat and enjoy their time and tell each other how happy they are to see each other and what they love seeing each other do online. It's just a really cool thing to see everybody come together, make new friends, deepen even the relationships that were already there. And everybody on the coaching team went around and gave a little toast. And it was just so cool to see the team culture and people that are just so happy to be part of the company, and how that level of excellence and service really tapers down into people who are there as guests. And it was just a beautiful evening. And it made me really think about what are the little things in my life and in my business that I've started overlooking. And so this for me is a direct reflection of our evolved patient journey. What little things are we doing that make our welcome and our greeting feel so good? Once we've known people for a long period of time, what are the little things that we're doing so that they know how much we care about them? And so this can really get tied into your business and in your life and your friendships and your relationships. Lesson 5 is the bigger we grow, the more human we must stay. This is really important to me in terms of Evolve to maintain the family atmosphere, the relationships, and the genuine connection. So that's a big thing with TWP is there's a lot of scaling that's happening, and it is so beautiful to see. It's amazing to be part of. And it's a direct reflection and a mirror principle of what we experience as we're growing our offices. A business that is dependent on the founder is not scalable. And I felt that. So, something that was amazing was to see how Steph is growing leaders and coaches within the company so that as she shifts into her perfect role, other people are getting into their perfect role. And it's exactly what we do when we're growing our offices. As we're getting into our CEO role, we are handpicking and choosing the people with very specific skill sets to become our office manager, to become our director of ops, to become our associate doctors. We're choosing people that are skilled, that carry the level of excellence, and that carry the culture as we shift into our position. And it was something that was really cool to see is as you build a bigger business, the impact can remain the same as we are being the people that God called us to be. And it doesn't have to suffer. It can get a lot better when we are getting people in the spots that they belong and that they are meant to be in. The company can thrive and scale that much faster when it's not dependent on one person, but on a team or group of people who are all in on the mission and the vision. Lesson 6 is you don't have to choose between family and ambition. And you hear me talk about this a lot. This weekend, I traveled without the boys. I missed them. I especially missed Steve. I was excited to come home. But this weekend reminded me that I can love my family really deeply and still pursue big dreams. And it all comes down to harmony. You don't have to sacrifice your family to build a business. You don't have to sacrifice your dreams to be a great mom. I got home and I was like, Cooper, I missed you. And he goes, I didn't miss you. I was fine. And so it's one of those reminders, too, that we can bear guilt and feel guilt ourselves when our kids are not feeling that. They don't feel resentment. They don't feel any sort of way of us being gone for a weekend. They had a great time with their dad. Maddie came over and hung out with them. They had a great time with her. So it just goes to show that our kids are happy, our kids are healthy, our kids are safe, and what a beautiful opportunity for them to have independence and see mom or dad or whoever it is working hard to create impact in their community and with their mission, and then come home and pour into them just as much. So I want to leave you with this question. What rooms do you need to get into? What conversations do you need to have? And what version of yourself is waiting on the other side of your next yes? Because growth leaves clues. And sometimes the breakthrough you're looking for is not another strategy, it's proximity to people who are already living what you're trying to build. The conversations that I had, the coffee chats, sitting around the table with people who inspire me and encourage me, that's what this weekend was all about. Being in person, getting more tied into my mission and my vision, and stepping into the calling of who I was created to be was such a blessing. And I'm so grateful for the TWP community, for the TWP team, for Steph for opening her home and her headquarters to us. And I encourage you to find your people. Thanks for hanging out with me today on Evolve Your Life. If this episode inspired you, leave a review, share it with a friend, follow so you never miss a moment, and come connect with me on Instagram at Dr. Stefanie Ascher. Until next time, keep evolving your life boldly, beautifully, and unapologetically.